Welcome to One News. Today is October 28th. This is Shirley Han reporting to you from New York. We will now look at the headlines of newspapers today. First, let's look at Los Angeles Times. Los Angeles Times have two reports, each about one of the presidential candidates, McCain and Obama. The article on Obama points out that although Obama is well controlled and shows great consistency throughout the campaign, he remains somewhat remote and impersonal. The article on McCain points out that although in the beginning of the race, McCain offered openness and created a sense of intimacy, that feeling is far gone. Also in Los Angeles Times headline, Alaska's Republican senator vows to fight the verdict and stay in the race for re-election. In a photo, it shows Senator Ted Stevens leaves federal court in Washington after he was convicted of 7 counts of failing to report gifts and improvements to his Alaskan home. Next, let's look at Washington Post. Washington Post reports on the trial of Senator Ted Stevens. He was convicted yesterday of lying on financial disclosure forms, concealed his recipient of more than $2,500,000 in gifts and expensive renovations to his house. He's the first sitting U.S. senator to go on trial in more than 2 decades. He vowed to fight for re-election on his 7th full term. And next, let's look at the headlines of Chicago Sun-Times. Chicago Sun-Times reports that after her mother and brother were found shot to death, actress Jennifer Hudson's 7-year-old nephew, Julian King's body was found in the back seat of an SUV. Police believe that he was shot to death inside the SUV. New York Post headline is a picture of the 2 suspects who have planned to assassinate Obama. Authorities said that the 2 white suspects who planned to assassinate Obama were unlikely to be able to carry out their plans because it was too disorganized. Authorities said that Paul Scholesselman, 18, and Daniel Cowart, 20, had only known each other for about a month and couldn't even pull off a house robbery. Let's take a look at the New York Times. The New York Times reports that the American Special Operations held a helicopter-borne attack into Syria, condemning Syria's role in running weapons, money, and foreign fighters across the border into Iraq. American commando also attacked Pakistan 7 weeks ago. USA Today's headline is Obama adds overwhelmed TV presence of McCain. Democratic presidential candidate will punctuate his broadcast strategy Wednesday with prime-time commercials on CBS, NBC, and Fox. The 3 30-minute ads cost $1 million each. It is the first time in 16 years a White House hopeful has aired commercials of such length on broadcast network. Obama has a television advertisement budget of $230 million against McCain's $130 million. Wall Street Journal reports Japan's sign of vulnerability Monday as the country's biggest bank, the Mitsubishi UFJ Financial Group, announced that it would raise as much as $10.7 billion in capital. Japan's Prime Minister Taro Aso ordered his cabinet members to take additional steps to strengthen Japan's financial system and stabilize its markets. Let's take a look at the Australian Financial Review. Also reporting on Japan's share hits 26-year low. The group of 7 economies expressed concern over the rise of the yen amid volatility on global currency market. Last, let's take a look at South China Morning Post. The headline is Sell, Sell, Sell as the pain increases. Panic selling continues as skittish investors ignore government's reassurances and instead scrambled to dump stock, fearing the global financial crisis is far from over. The Hang Seng Index has dropped 12.7%. Thank you for watching One News. Again, today is October 27th, reporting from New York.